On the evening of December 24, 2001, 48-year-old Kevin Butler was at his home in southeast Dallas, getting ready for Christmas Eve dinner with his best friend, Michael DiNardo. What Kevin didn't know was that two men living just a block behind him had been drinking all afternoon, planning to break into his house that very night. Kevin lived alone, ran a local swimming pool company, and loved taking in stray animals. His closest companion was Bird, an 18-inch white-crested cockatoo he had rescued 2 years earlier. Bird was fiercely loyal to Kevin and hated strangers. After waiting over an hour at the restaurant, Michael DiNardo got worried. Kevin wasn't answering his phone. Michael drove to Kevin's house and found the front door wide open, the indoor lights blazing, and Kevin's pickup truck missing. Sensing immediate danger, he dialed 911. Dallas police officers entered a scene of pure violence. The house was completely ransacked, showing signs of a massive struggle. In the living room, they found Kevin Butler, dead on the floor, his arms and legs bound with electrical cord. He had been brutally beaten, stabbed multiple times in the chest, and his throat was slashed. But the kitchen held an even more bizarre discovery. Bird, the cockatoo, was lying dead near the wall with broken wings, a severed leg, and a fatal stab wound to his back. However, one crucial detail caught the forensic team's attention. The bird's beak and claws were heavily covered in thick, fresh blood. During the sweep, police found a smear of blood on a living room light switch and on the handles of 2 knives. Forensic testing revealed a shocking twist. None of that blood belonged to Kevin or Bird. The attacker had walked out of the house, bleeding heavily. Police now had the killer's DNA from 4 separate locations. But no name to match it to. The lead investigator, Detective Brett Malden, interviewed Kevin's associates and quickly found a prime suspect, 22-year-old Johnny Cerna. Cerna was a former employee whom Kevin had recently fired on the spot for altering a company check to steal money. He lived just a block behind Kevin with his 30-year-old half-brother, Daniel Torres. When questioned, both brothers denied being near the house. Malden took their DNA cheek swabs and had to wait. Back in 2002, DNA testing was slow, and the crime lab was heavily backlogged. When the results finally arrived 7 months later, they brought a massive surprise. None of the blood belonged to Johnny Cerna. Every single sample traced back directly to his older brother, Daniel Torres. Confronted with the DNA match, Torres finally broke. He claimed he only entered the house to check on his brother and tried to stop Cerna from stabbing Kevin, cutting his own hand in the process. But then, Torres confessed to the most damning detail. He admitted that during the chaos, the cockatoo aggressively launched itself off its perch, flying straight at his head, fiercely biting and clawing him all over my head to defend Kevin. To make it stop, Torres grabbed a weapon and stabbed the bird. This explained the trail of feathers and the blood on Bird's beak. Following this, Johnny Cerna also confessed, admitting that Daniel Torres was the one who slashed Kevin's throat while Cerna searched the house for valuables. They stole $1,200 and Kevin's truck. Both were charged with capital murder. In February 2003, Daniel Torres was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Johnny Cerna received the exact same life sentence later that year. In his closing argument, prosecutor George West looked at the jury and delivered a line that defined the entire case. "This bird spoke. He spoke to us. We know this bird will attack anybody who's attacking his owner." Bird had given his life trying to save his friend. But before he died, the loyal cockatoo ensured he left the definitive bloody mark that put his master's killer behind bars for life.